Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something you probably never think about, but absolutely rely on: the massive, unseen structure that supports every single medicine you've ever trusted. It's a world of precision, ethics, and yeah, a whole lot of paper. So, before any new treatment, a pill, a vaccine, you name it, can even get close to the public, it has to answer this one huge question, right? How do you prove it works and is safe without putting the very people you're trying to help at risk? And the answer, honestly, isn't very glamorous, but it is absolutely critical. It takes a carefully constructed, literal mountain of paperwork. You have to think of each document as a single brick in this giant foundation of trust between scientists, doctors, and all of us. Okay, so let's dive in. We're going to break this mountain down into four key parts. First, the scientific blueprint, then protecting the patient, then assembling the right team, and finally, what the trial looks like in action. This is basically the architecture of modern medical discovery. Now, this whole process is governed by one core principle. It's called Good Clinical Practice, or GCP for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal rulebook. It makes sure that every single trial, no matter where it is in the world, is scientifically sound and, most importantly, ethically managed. All right, part one, the scientific blueprint. Look, you wouldn't build a skyscraper based on a hunch, right? And you definitely don't test a new drug on people that way either. This is the part where you prove the research isn't just a random guess, but a logical, well-thought-out investigation. And here are the key pieces of that blueprint. First, you've got the investigational brochure. That's basically the full history, all the lab data, everything we know so far that answers the question, why are we even doing this? Then there's the protocol, which is the master plan, the super detailed rulebook for every single step. And finally, you can't do anything without that official regulatory approval. That's the government, like the DDA, giving the official green light. So you've got the science plan locked down. Now we get to what is, without a doubt, the most important part of any trial: protecting the people who volunteer. This isn't just a nice idea, it's the absolute moral compass for the entire project. It's a non-negotiable that's woven into every single document. And this isn't just one document, it's a whole system of protection with multiple layers. You have an independent ethics board, people with no stake in the trial, who have to approve it. You've got the informed consent form, which we'll talk more about. There's insurance, just in case. And there's even a separate safety board that watches over the trial in real time to protect patients. It's a comprehensive safety net. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This whole thing isn't about getting someone to just sign a form full of jargon. It's about creating a true partnership. The language has to be simple, clear, and totally understandable, so the patient is an active, knowledgeable participant in the research, not just a subject. Okay, so a great blueprint and a strong moral compass are essential, but you also need the skilled craftspeople to actually build the thing. So this next set of paperwork is all about proving that every single person, every lab, every organization involved is qualified, certified, and ready to go. And this isn't a job for just anybody. We're talking about the lead scientists providing their full resumes and certifications. The manufacturer has to prove they follow what's called good manufacturing practices. Even the hospital or lab has to show its accreditations. Every single link in the chain has to be documented and verified. So what's the point of all this? Well, it creates this transparent chain of responsibility. It's a guarantee that the person analyzing the data is a real statistician, and the facility making the drug is totally up to code. There are no weak links allowed. Finally, with the plan set, the protections in place, and the expert team assembled, we need the documents that guide the actual day-to-day work. This is where the rubber meets the road, where theory becomes practice, and where everything gets written down. This whole process turns that scientific protocol into a real-world, super-controlled operation. You've got a biostatistician creating a randomization list to make sure there's no bias in who gets the drug versus the placebo. You have standardized forms so that every piece of data from every patient is collected in the exact same way. And of course, every single thing that happens, good or bad, gets logged. So when you see it all laid out like this, you start to realize this isn't just bureaucracy for the sake of it. This mountain of paperwork isn't a barrier. It's the very foundation of scientific integrity. It's the meticulous, verifiable system that transforms a bunch of raw data points into the reliable, life-saving medicines we all depend on. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. This incredibly rigorous process, Well, it saves lives by making sure our medicines are safe and they work. But in a world that always needs cures faster than ever, it makes you ask, have we found the perfect balance? Or is this system itself a barrier to even faster innovation? It's a tough trade-off for sure.